And this time we're keeping it on the couch. We're doing it kind of on your schedule. So it's home platforms, it's on demand, it's streaming. Let's start with the shiny discs and the on demand, though, Miss Perfect. What should we start with?
Let's start with some sleep, right? And probably a doctor.
Exactly. So Dr. Sleep, the long-awaited cinematic adaptation of Dr. Sleep, the Shining sequel, effectively, starring Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Is he now Dan Torrance?
Yes.
I think because he was Danny in when he's a kid, and he's now Dan.
Dan.
And he's sort of grown up with The Shining, with the curse of The Shining, which has driven him to alcoholism and substance abuse.
And we kind of understand what the curse of The Shining is more in this movie. If you didn't realise it in the first one, that some kids are gifted, in inverted commas, with this.
And in fact, of course, it's his chance encounter with a child who has The Shining that leads to him embracing this.
You can hear me.
Let's use our outside voices, all right? You tracked me down?
It was easier than I thought. Like GPS, but in my head.
Look, I don't mean any offense, but this day and age, a grown man sitting with a teenage girl on a park bench.
I'm Aber Stone, and if anyone asks, you're my uncle, Uncle Dan. And that's not even a lie. Not totally. You're magic. Like me.
I don't know about magic.
So that's his new friend, Abra, there. And before you know it, they're basically put into the crosshairs of a group of sort of soul-sucking vampires, played by Rebecca Ferguson.
Who actually is a really good performance from her, as always. I really liked this movie. I know a lot of people didn't.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I thought it had a lot going for it.
There's an extended version for home platforms as well.
Do you know what? It's interesting you say that, because I thought it had a lazy last chapter to it, because the big expectation is going back to the hotel,
to the Overlook.
Yeah, the Overlook, and kind of going through that. And actually, I think they could have done that better.
Yeah.
But I liked the story of it. I liked how it played out. I liked how different it was to The Shining.
I liked that Mike Flanagan got a big film job and he knocked it the hell out the park. Good for you, Mike Flanagan. Please get more gigs like this. He's one of my favourite horror directors for years now.
The thing is about this is that it's a problem when, I think the way some film critics are looking at this is almost too in-depth. That it's the book, it's this, and it's got to fit that very shiny platform for them. And if it doesn't do that, it doesn't work for them, and then they hate it.
Yeah.
And actually, it's got more to it than just doing that. So,
I've read the book for The Shining and seen the film for The Shining, but I've never read the book for Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
Now, what I thought was quite clever about the film adaptation was this works as a sequel to the film, adaptation, but also contains elements that quite clearly state it as a sequel to the book as well.
Yeah.
So I think, okay, this has obviously been quite well balanced. They've obviously put a lot of thought into this. So as an adaptation, I think they've done a fairly good job of sort of placating everyone's expectations, of basically dealing with both fan bases at the same time and coming up with a sort of a middle ground, a happy medium. I think they've done a really solid job there.
Yeah, and I just don't think that it got the fanfare that it probably deserved. But
I think it deserves.
Worth a watch on DVD or Blu Ray. If you haven't seen it yet, you don't need to see it on the big screen. It's just a good recap of...
I don't know. I thought it was really good.
But you're not going to be able to.
We're not going to be able to. But most of us have monolithic tellies now. But
okay.
I'll tell you one that's going to be a little bit more trashy a choice for your entertainment picks this week is Midway. Roland Emmerich's version of Pearl Harbor, effectively.
Why do we need another Pearl Harbor?
Because Roland Emmerich wants to do one. Okay. That's why. And when Roland Emmerich wants to do something, provided it's not an Independence Day sequel, you let him. So this one stars Woody Harrelson, Patrick Wilson, Ed Skrein, is it Nick Jonas or Joe Jonas? I can't remember which one. Which is the one that married Priyanka Chopra? The really jammy one.
Right.
Yeah, him. And it's basically the Battle of Midway. So it starts with Pearl Harbor in the first 20 minutes and then leads up to, the Battle of Midway. It is literally the same lantern-jawed affair you would expect. I'll be really honest, it does make Pearl Harbor look academically brilliant in contrast. This has no such genius as Alec Baldwin saying, "Gentlemen, leave your goddamn hula shirts at home," which frankly is a level
It's an important line.
It's an important line.
It's an important line.
It really is.
You don't want to get them ruined.
Actually, when we reviewed this for theatrical, I went back and rewatched Pearl Harbor, and I gained a whole new appreciation from it. Yes, it's bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as you remember it being.
Right.
And also, I had never realised that at that stage, Alec Baldwin was still in his young, handsome leading man bit.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, he hadn't quite turned into the middle-aged Alec Baldwin we now know and love.